Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Super-Fanta-Fi. This being a show where we talk about TV shows of supernatural fantasy and or science fictional genre. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about the latest episode of Into the Badlands. A lot of interesting things went down. Obviously, we have MK and Nyx going at it. It's so interesting because, it's like, I'm going to take Sunny, but you're going to answer to Pilgrim because you betrayed him. And it's all said and done. I think, because that did not go the way I thought it would. I thought when the time came down to it, Pilgrim was going to kill, or at least attempt to hurt Nyx. And that would shift MK's opinion because someone he's started to learn to care about, someone that's like family to him, was about to get hurt. But no, in fact, I'd even make the argument that during that fight near the end, if it wasn't for Sunny stepping in, he probably would have killed Nyx. It's kind of interesting when you actually look at the current dynamic, because it's like obviously MK's on the other side, but now Nyx is with Sunny. She's kind of like the new MK with just the way she's rolling with Sunny. But it's interesting too because like her and Sunny can understand each other to another level, because it's like he knows what it's like, all the terrible shit he did for Quinn back when he was Quinn's clipper. All that stuff. It's like, fighting for a master, you served. And it's like, just like, Nyx did a lot for Pilgrim, and it's like now she finds it hard to sleep, because like all that sits with her, because she in her mind thought it was all for one goal, like Azura's rebirth, and that they were doing some good in the world. But now she realizes like Pilgrim's basically in this for himself, the way he ended up showing his true colors when he killed Castor. And obviously all of this, like it seems like MK might be starting to see the cracks, but he's not willing to give up. Just because, like I said, because he's so much in disbelief, his hate towards Sunny and his need to belong and to have a family again, that he's willing to go along with everything along with Pilgrim. Because I think in his mind, it's like, if I betray Pilgrim, I'm no better than Sunny, so I've got to stick with it. It almost seems like that, And I just think, MK's just, like I said, just in so much pain, and he's misguided. But even Pilgrim is basically kind of like showing, like, once again thinking of himself as a god and stuff like that, and about to snap at MK for his failure, until MK brings up the whole monastery situation. With that was leading, like, whoa, they're heading to the monastery? I didn't expect that, dude. I mean, they even get there by the end of the episode, but I'm like, I didn't expect the confrontation to come this soon. Pilgrim versus a master, which a big part of this episode, too, is showing us what the gift can do. Like, in the hands of someone powerful, the gift can do a lot. And it's so interesting because obviously we're going into the final episodes, but we're only now getting into the crazy shit. Because it's like, up to this point, everyone's been elementary level. I mean, I guess you could make the argument the moment people stop having to cut themselves to activate their gifts, that in itself speaks volumes. That's probably middle school. Like, like everything else is like higher level stuff, especially what the master's able to do. Her sensing out Onkar like that. But it does seem like even using her gifts like that does, like pushing it like that does take a toll on her body, because like she started like black liquid started flowing from her eyes, and it started making the veins in her, like it started causing veins to kind of pop up on her face. So I guess it puts a big strain, especially because she's probably searching the entire Badlands for Onkar, so it's just going to put a bigger and bigger strain on her body, literally being able to probe people's minds. Because that's so interesting, because you have like Pilgrim using the gift the way he has, and it's like all this power at my fingertips, but even he doesn't even begin to know how to use the gift, which is interesting. It makes you, once again, it's a kind of the sad situation about because things are kind of like being rushed to the, it's kind of like a full-blown sprint towards the end of the series, so we won't get a lot of background we probably normally would have, like a lot more stuff about Azra. We're getting a little bit about the Black Lotus, just that they're this group that exists to be like, hey, we kill the dark ones, because the gift isn't something that should be existing. It's a smear against the natural order. It's unnatural. Even Pilgrim having all that power is unnatural. It's interesting because obviously he sees Castor when he's in the woods, and Castor's like, the fact of the matter is Nyx saw you for who you were after you killed me. So is that what, you put me down like I was a savage animal. The fact of the matter is, will you do that to MK too when he fails you? And the fact of the matter is, here you are with all this power inside you, and you can't even control it because it wasn't meant for you. I wonder, is it meant for Sunny though? Like Sunny is the, I mean, he's meant to hold all of it, but that might be the thing. Like Sunny might be the only one strong enough to literally hold all that because it was already inside of him in the first place. So he might have to. We might have a situation where he ends up absorbing all of the gifts that's inside of Pilgrim and making it his own. That he might be kind of like the one that's meant for this. Potentially, I don't know. Or maybe when it's all said and done, they destroy the dark gift in general. That might be like where this all heads. Like the dark gift can't exist anymore. You know, the whole point is to wipe it out potentially. So, I don't know. But you can definitely tell, like I said, Pilgrim is losing it more and more. He's becoming more and more unstable. I think this is just the first steps. But I guess it's also foreshadowing just like his, you know, losing sight of everything, because it almost seems like he doesn't have, once again, it's like, it's not about like creating this beautiful kingdom. You know, I guess you can make the argument it still is, but for him it's like, oh, I'm gonna rule over it as a god and everything. You know, that just makes me kind of go, I don't know. He seemed like he was more a messenger before, but now it seems like he goes from, no, I'm no longer going to just be a messenger, I'm going to be a god, you know? So that kind of makes you think, yeah, his priorities kind of shifted. And maybe, you know, I guess, you know, looking at everything, it's like that was always the goal potentially, but, you know, it seemed like he had the best of intentions going forward, but now it seems like they kind of gotten lost along the way, especially because he's obviously becoming a lot more delusional, obviously the Caster situation, but he's also paranoid because it's like, oh, first Sunny betrayed him, and now Nyx, and now it's like, who else is going to betray me? MK, are you going to betray me next? That's a whole can of worms. They find Onkar, who is also being hunted down by the Black Lotus. It's interesting, like, I guess because the Black Lotus knows that the gift has found its way back into the Badlands in a big, big way. I'm assuming because it's like, even after all this time, now is when they strike. To be fair, like, I think it's knowing that Sunny was here, and they probably know Sunny being the catalyst and everything, and now that everything's kind of set in motion, they know they've got to make bigger moves. Because it's interesting, because, like, they came after Onkara now of all points in time. Like, I guess because, like I said, they know that the Badlands is where so much of the stuff is going down, so that's why they headed in this direction, you know? And why they're kind of moving in a fuller force now. So, like I said, so many competing forces. It's like, it might be a situation where Black Lotus and Sunny and the others, like Team Badlands and Team Black Lotus, might actually have to join forces. Like I said, there's still elements to this that we're still missing too, like everything connected to Sunny's sister, like what that's going to end up being about potentially. But Onkara continues to be who she is, someone very, very untrustworthy. Because the fact is, I mean, she's getting out of town because it's like, oh yeah, the Black Lotus might come after her just because of, you know, she has the dark gift and everything. But then it stems from, it's like, I guess she's going to wait until Pilgrim rules everything, because I guess she feels like once everything goes down that route, then she'll be able to kind of be free and kind of do whatever she wants to. Because she's running not only from the Black Lotus, she's also running from the Master, so... which she even compares the Master to being some tyrant. So it's like, that's the thing, like, we don't know who's 100% the good guys in this situation, because it's like, is the Master the good guy? Maybe not in the long run, because, I mean, everything, because, like, it's interesting, because even Minerva asked, like, did you mess with my mind? It's like, well, we know now that she messed with MK's mind, because she showed him a lie before. But maybe you can make the argument maybe MK didn't want to face the truth, so that's why he's the one that shifted his mind in that direction. The Master didn't. You know, subconsciously maybe he didn't want to look at Sunny that way because Sunny was someone he cared about. And it's like, oh, that Sunny then isn't the same Sunny I know now. So maybe his mind knew something that he didn't want to know. You know, and he listened to his Dark One ability, and that kind of skewered everything for him. He let him get consumed by rage. It's kind of interesting because that was the whole thing with Minerva. It's like, if you get your power back, you'll be skewed by darkness. And that's exactly what happened to MK, because the moment he found out the truth about everything, it happened. And I think, you know, because Minerva was like, you know, can I never get my gift back? Because the Master's like, the moment you do, what you saw in your vision is going to come true. You're going to be consumed by that darkness, and it's going to destroy all those around you, essentially. So things didn't necessarily play out the way with Minerva like I thought they did last episode. It wasn't necessarily like, oh, the light inside of her conquered. It was more so just an example of showing, like, yeah, there's that light inside of her that's still alive, that's always at war with that darkness in her. And if she gets her powers back, she'll be consumed by that darkness just because of her, you know. Because I think if you're not allowed to kind of keep yourself in control, then you'll lose control, and you know that's what would happen if she had her powers. She wouldn't be able to keep herself under the control. So Another aspect I liked about this too was Baji and Minerva meeting, because it didn't click in my head until just now. I was like, right, they have not seen each other, like really seen each other, because obviously like they met like the last episode, like in that vision quest she had, but it's like they have not seen each other since the last season, because earlier in season 3, like they didn't see each other. She had him captured, but you know, he was on his way to getting transported till Tilda broke him out. So it's like they have not seen each other in a while. So it's like Baji, flee, and it's just interesting. Also, it's interesting too, really quickly. Apparently, the Master might have the crazy abilities she does have, but she doesn't know all, because she didn't know about the whole Sunny being Sanzo and him and Pilgrim were brothers from Azura trying to bring it back. That Sunny was the catalyst in all of this. So even as powerful as she is, even she doesn't have like she isn't omnipotent, you know. Which is so interesting considering the fact is that's what Pilgrim's trying to get to that level, but nevertheless. But obviously, Baji and Minerva have a lot of issues just because, like, it's like, well, you started this, well, you did this, that, and other. Like, both of them have made a lot of mistakes, and it's kind of interesting, like, during their little fight, which was pretty neat, they end up sending their sticks into the car, and it explodes. It's like, yep, didn't see that coming, and they literally kind of laugh about it. But we do kind of get a little, you know, Baji kind of, you know, tells Minerva he is sorry for abandoning her like he did, because for him it was like losing his gift made him feel weak for the first time. It made him feel scared because he was just kind of, you know, because he had relied on his gift for so long. And I guess you can make the argument that's why Minerva became the way she did, why she's so scared around every corner, because she doesn't have her gift. Because even MK had became obsessed with his gift again, you know, being like, he was never going to feel powerless again. That's why he holds so tightly to his gift. Like, that's what this all stems from. Everyone's afraid to give up that power because they're afraid, like, without it, they'll be weak and they'll be lost. Like, in a sense, they'll lose so much. Like, Minerva doesn't want to go back to feeling weak and alone. And I guess on some level, she thinks that if she has the power, she can keep what she wants to keep and protect what she wants to protect. At the end, like, her need for power has left her all alone, pushed away all the people that cared about her most. You know, Tilda, you know, it hasn't pushed Gaius away, but it has pushed, you know, a lot of people away from her. So, and you can make, like I said, that same argument could be made about MK. So, like, there's a lot of parallels to kind of draw in that situation as well. And then there's Lydia and Moon, which I didn't even think about that. Like, both of them are in a similar situation because, like, oh yeah, they both lost a child and they're up there taking care of Henry. It's just a reminder of the life that they could have led. But it's like, we can't change the past, like the time we've lost, but it's like, we do have that time moving forward. Then you have the priestess, her showing up, got some harbingers being like, yo, this is how things were. And Lydia's like, yo, nah, this is still, you know, Minerva's place. But now it's like they want supplies and stuff like that. I think Moon could have handled himself. But I mean, to be fair, it's two harbingers. But still, maybe that's why Lydia stopped, because she knew that they were harbingers or something. But either way, even the priestess being like, oh yeah, take down these banners. It's representation, you know, the butterflies and stuff like that. Put up some flags for Pilgrim. Like, I love she's bossing people around, like acting like she's 100% in control. Like, on your own, you ain't doing diddly squat. You just have these two people by your side. That's not going to go well, because especially because they made such a point to be like, oh, she's going to stay behind to protect their family. I mean, their home. Probably Lydia and Moon are going to go there and probably take care of that potentially. So that's probably going to anger Pilgrim more when he finds out. Might not be them, might be other people. I mean, there's still the whole, well, because Tilda and Gaius are still looking for Chow, and they go visit his mom, which I guess his dad's been dead for a while, so, but they go visit his mom. We also find out Gaius has a half-brother. It seems like his half-brother seems like he kind of gets treated like shit, like, because it seemed like the only one in the family who actually got treated well was Chow, just because she was the one that embraced everything, because she's kind of a representation of the old ways that the Badland worked. And that was even something, you know, Gaius was trying to tell his mom. The fact of the matter is, you're still fighting and clinging onto the old way. The Badlands are changing, you know, for the better, obviously. But when the time came, Gaius still couldn't do anything to his mom. I don't think it was just for the information. I think it's just because it's like, that was his mom. No matter how much of an asshole she is, like, she's still family, and that's still a hard thing to do. Tilda had no problem doing it. Jeez, Tilda went, stab. stab, 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 walking away covered in blood. It's like, whoo, jeez. I mean, that was still kind of pretty rough. And I did like guys being like, you're free, brother, and so am I, you know, and they kind of walk away. So, gotta track down Chow. Like I said, it seems like, and it's kind of interesting, I haven't watched the show, but I remember hearing people talk about the whole Game of Thrones situation. It's like things that used to take episodes, now seems like it's happening boom, 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 pow. And I think the same thing is happening to this, just because we're at the end, like, they're getting places faster than I feel like they would have in previous seasons. Not technically speaking, because there's been cases where it's like they got this places on them, but it just seemed like in certain cases, it seemed like they're just moving faster and faster in certain regard. But I guess it also depends on where they're starting out at and stuff like that, but still, like I said, there's like a lot to kind of get through for these next 5 episodes. Like I said, it was kind of interesting because like this was also like an episode like of, you know, big time makeups between a lot of people, because obviously the Master and Baji, Minerva and the Master, Baji and Minerva, then like Minerva and Sunny. That was crazy. Like, obviously, because Sunny's still going to be fueled by revenge. And, you know, it's like 2 of the best fighters in the show fighting, you know. Because he hasn't crossed paths with Minerva since season 2's finale. No, that wasn't. I think that was like the episode before the finale, when he found out the truth about, like, the veil situation. So, obviously, like, that was... I was curious to see how it would go down, like... But, you know, Minerva admits, like, I crossed the line when I gave Veil over to Quinn. The fact of the matter is I betrayed everything that I believed in, and I'm sorry. And I know it can't bring her back, but we are on the same side now, fighting the same cause. Because I even love earlier, she's like, yeah, Sonny's going to be there. You know he's going to kill me because of the whole Veil situation. And he's like, don't take it personal. But he's like, the fact of the matter is he's kind of like that with a lot of people. She's kind of looking at him. He's like, fine, I'll fix it, okay? I love it. And obviously Nyx is there. It's just, dude, the squad is coming together in many different regards, dude. It's going to be interesting when everything kind of finally meets up. I'm curious, like, when is MK going to switch sides? If he's going to switch sides at all, I would assume he would, but it might not be to the very end. I don't know. Like I said, he's just so set in his ways. Maybe what goes down in the monastery might change things. Maybe he'll have a conversation with the master, and like I said, maybe things won't be what he thinks they are. Or maybe they are. We'll have to wait and see in that regard, but like I said, things are heating up. Enemies are revealing themselves. This situation keeps getting faster and faster. A point got brought up last episode, and obviously they're playing that aspect of this episode too. It's like, the fact is that obviously the gift can do more than just be, you know, because it's just destruction in other people's eyes, but as we can see, it can also heal. So that might kind of go against my thought earlier, where it's like, oh yeah, the gift is going to get destroyed. Maybe it won't, just because it can do so much good. Maybe Sunny will be the only one who ends up having it at the end of it all. I have no idea. Like I would assume this all has to trail back to him being the catalyst and all that. So, and once again, this all comes down to maybe his sister's the one that's supposed to take it all, because we know that they were together, him being the catalyst. Maybe she was supposed to be the lock that not only keep him safe, but be the one to take the gift, because she's the one that's going to set things right, kind of be this world's savior in a sense. Maybe not. Like I said, this is just kind of what's rattling off in my brain about it. We'll ultimately have to wait and see what's in store for us in the next episode. But really, that's all I want to talk about. Till the next time with me, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day, and goodbye.